This beautiful girl is in a car accident, but she doesn't know that she has been noticed by the local police, because she has a pretty face, like a goddess. A long-haired bald head steps closer and says, "Let her not love me. I'm married, no problem. I will not let my husband know this." Guys, don't be shy. I'll call the police right now. Who would have thought that when the beautiful girl was going to pick up her iPhone to call 113, there was a long line to the shore. This is my friend. The two good guys swam all the way here, so they were going to wake him up. My Faye, at the right time, appeared on a weekday car, afraid to innovate with the police, so the two bad guys had to leave. However, the thief didn't forget to say, "If you wear those 4 glasses." Before going home, the beautiful girl thanked and said, "You should be more careful." "Don't worry, I usually let guys like these guys answer in the afternoon." But what the good guy didn't expect was that these two guys were more tough than the hungry guy. The first to put his lips down to threaten, but he couldn't fix it. The 4-lid door opened. The poor guy didn't notice, so he shouted, and the car was parked in front. So, there was only a few laps of Santa water. I thought so, but the thief still grabbed a bottle of wine. There was vodka on the outside. There was a new nail in his face. "Big brother, please forgive me." As if he was in trouble, he straightened out the fire for both the car and the poor guy to get out of the movie. On the other side, the beautiful girl Maria, after leaving the gas station, went to pick up the brother-in-law Lee Sin and his ex-boyfriend Tony. Unfortunately, on the way home, she ran into a car in the same afternoon. And what I'm saying is that the two guys were talking to her earlier. Knowing that they were lovers, Maria quickly pulled the glass door up high. "What are you going to do to your sister?" "I know that." So the man, Lee Sin, couldn't do anything. With a cold head, he stepped down and said to these two guys, "Fortunately, I'm sorry on behalf of my wife, Big Brother. Both of you will get free food quickly, and don't need to spend money in my restaurant for a year." After saying that, Lee Sin gave this guy the address. However, the questioner still stared at Maria's sister-in-law as if she wanted to eat fresh food. It seemed that everything was quiet, but these two guys, right after that, came from Lee Sin's restaurant. The first guy cut his lips, sat outside, and his nickname was naturally like a rat, straight into the inside. Seeing the beautiful sister-in-law go out, the guy took out a 21 cm gun in his face, threatened and said, "I'm yours." But there was a good story. Lee Sin quickly went to find his wife. He was about to open the door. The guy asked the gun, "Do you know who your father is? If you're looking for your father, I can help you." "Are you kidding me?" Maria was about to go out and had to say hello to Han. Lee Sin immediately took the gun and shot them. Not seeing the hands of these guys, Lee Sin shot Han right out. "Help me! Help me! This is this." The two of them were so close. The scene of Lee Sin playing alone with two boys in jail. Everyone was so excited. He took the gun and shot him. The guy took the gun and threw it into Han's stomach to take it back with the other guy. The next day, the police arrived at the scene. Lee Sin explained to his friend that he was just pretending. "I believe that. Is there a camera recording?" Of course, those two guys wanted to fight Maria. No need to investigate. The police also knew who was right and who was wrong. So the two couples did not stop each other, but immediately took each other to treat their wounds. However, Lee Sin did not expect that the scene of Han and those two guys were spread on the internet in a face-to-face way. It turned out that when Mr. Nguyen and his friends had a young man filming a video and uploading it to YouTube, Lee Sin suddenly became a star in the city and was an idol of the younger generation. So he had thousands of fans, as well as the media following him. Because of Russia, Lee Sin became famous. But he was not happy, because he knew that there would be something bad, just like the rumor that this incident occurred in the eyes of a bald old man named Martin. He is the leader of the mafia, the most famous Russian national, a specialist in magic, and has a large scale, with more than 1,000 guys, and forgot all the high-ranking officials of the government, so he can execute any criminal group that no one dares to touch, even the police. After watching the video on the TV, immediately the leader ordered his close friends, Ivan, to close his eyes and say, "If you don't bring that guy here, I will build a grave for your whole family." However, the bald old man Leona replied that the bald old man just let me worry. It will only be a hope. After that, he immediately went on the road to deal with Lee Sin for his father-in-law. 15 years ago, when Lee Sin was a masseur for Mr. Chung, suddenly two guys came in to ask for a little blood from the old man. However, he used to be a newcomer to the countryside, so his work quickly turned into this gang of assassins. So Martin took Lee Sin back to be an artist, and gave many important missions to the organization. During this process, he fell in love with Mr. Chung's daughter Sophia, and the result was that the girl had a product. However, when the two of them were not able to publicize their relationship, in one time, they went to protect Mr. Chung's son in front of Lee Sin's car. So, this guy wanted to have money, so he raped Mr. Chipper. Lee Sin was accused of being a traitor by Han Thavu. Han hated him for a long time, so this opportunity took Lee Sin to the Laos underground to save his lover. Sophia pretended to be responsible, but actually gave him a knife, so much so that Lee Sin was cut off. But when his name opened the door to Han Ha, Lee Sin quickly told Han to stop to escape. At this time, Leona appeared. He took a gun to hit Han Tha, then killed both of them and ran away. Seeing Mr. Chipper playing tricks, Leona immediately came out to blame Lee Sin for not using the same name as the two birds. Be more careful. Han hit his head against the wall to create a fake scene. After the escape, Lee Sin changed his age and became famous in the O region. He married Lisa, and the whole family had a very happy life with Tony. However, Lee Sin's wife did not often know about his past. On the other side, the family of Mr. Chung also went to the grave to remember his past son, and believed that Lee Sin was the evil enemy. Only Sophia's wife did not believe it. After Mr. Chung's good son was officially born, Lee Sin left this place. Leona woke up and married Sophia's daughter-in-law to hope that she would later become a prostitute. However, Han did not know that he was just a guy. With the eyes of Mr. Chung's son, Leona can cover the sky with her hands. So this little guy wanted Lee Sin to live in the gold pit as quickly as possible, to hide his evilness. Han Da's wife, and also Lee Sin's ex-lover, saw the movie on the internet. She knew that her father would kill her, so Sophia immediately called Lee Sin. However, he knew that in Russia, it was not easy to run in the sky. That's why Lee Sin chose to face him and said, "I'm sure you've got the wrong person." Leona smiled and replied, "If you have a flower, I also recognize you. You're a cheater." In the midst of such a tense situation, suddenly, Lee Sin's bodyguard came and said, "I gave the police station and the security of this place. The place has a dead body buried behind his back." Hearing these words, Leona knew that Lee Sin was in a safe zone, unable to move here, so she immediately ran away with her brother. However, immediately, Han moved to the second plan, which was to get out of the cave. Lee Sin did not expect that Leona was targeting her baby son Tony, although he had just graduated from the 3rd grade, but his son had to make a lot of FA boys jealous when he had an old woman's plane, because Tony had dumped her in the 5th grade. They both gave each other a message to promise to take care of their ideals, to find out the truth about his baby. Right after that, Leona gave some boys to follow Lee Sin's wife. That day, his son Tony didn't go home, but he was going to take his lover to the temple. Then Maria caught him. She wrote in a book that at this age, you have to focus on studying. "Mom, I'm old enough. Don't be shy." When the old man won the baby on the car, he invited his sister to go to Leona's house, gave Maria a gift, and the other 2 boys took away Tony's old boy. Immediately, the 2 of them flew away, making her beautiful, but also helpless. Sitting in the middle of the road, the husband finally arrived. At the same time, Lee Sin received a call. It was the doorkeeper Leona who said, "Bring your husband to the abandoned house at the end of the forest. If not, don't blame him. If you touch the baby, I'll tear it apart. Got it?" Without waiting any longer, Lee Sin caught the door, put it on the floor. Because the house had no dog, so he took care of it and knocked on the back door. The baby's father-in-law was watching outside. Lee Sin discovered a boy who was climbing the stairs. He had to steal the gun, so he gently made his head red with a sharp angle. There was a weapon in his hand, along with Han Ta's phone. Lee Sin turned on the alarm clock and put a car in there. A boy who heard a sound immediately came to see, who thought he was shot by a gun. He heard the sound. Leona, inside, immediately went out to investigate the situation. Tony's brother knew that his father had come to save him, so he immediately ran away 1 step along the back door, then ran into the father-in-law. Looking at the boy, Lee Sin immediately investigated the crime scene to stop him. 2 hands, 2 guns. Han Ta should have been in control. Did not let his brother-in-law go out. Leona ran away with Tony's brother-in-law. The boy was shot. Lee Sin immediately took the baby away, but was called out of control. However, Han Ta knew what kind of person Lee Sin was and did not want to see the baby die, so he decided to let the 2 children go. At the same time, there was a person passing by. Lee Sin immediately reminded Han Ta to take him to the nearest hospital to be rescued. In the face of 2 people who could not kill Lee Sin, made Leona very angry, so as not to be blamed by his brother-in-law. Han Ta took the 2 boys into the forest. The 3rd boy was injured, but was still in good health. Then Leona put him in a nursing home to treat him. At the hospital, Lee Sin quickly hid the gun on the toilet. He felt extremely painful because the past events had affected the boy. A while later, Maria and her best friend Jason arrived. Everyone was angry and blamed Lee Sin for everything. After the surgery, the doctor informed Moti as if he was hitting his hand. "We apologize. The boy did not pass away. Both of them were dead. Which pain is more painful than this pain?" So Lee Sin only knows to hug his wife in his heart and cry like rain. The police were also present at the scene of the gunshot, but only hit the nail, so they could not believe anything. Jason's friend called Lee Sin's house and said, "You have to tell me who did that. I don't want to get involved with other people, so I'll answer. I will solve this myself." At that time, Lee Sin's mother-in-law came to Maria's house, so Jason's brother-in-law also came home. On the side of the mafia gang, the old man Martin knew that the boy wanted to act, but killed an innocent boy. He was extremely angry and said, "You certainly don't think I'm anything anymore. Why did you kill an innocent child? With me, whatever I do, that guy has to understand. Please close your eyes." No longer believing in the boy, Martin told his close friend Ivan that, "I will solve this for you. I know someone who has the strength to take Lee Sin's life." Immediately, Ivan gave the 2 boys the most famous murderer in Russia, Goro. He used to be a tax collector, so he had a lot of experience in killing people. "I heard you and Lee Sin used to be in the same unit when you were still in the army. I think you know it better than anyone, so don't let them down." After saying that, they gave this murderer a $3.2 million bag of cash. There was a bullet in his hand. Immediately, Goro went out to take his old friend's life. On the other side, the police detective Jason DeHoy discovered the past of his close friend. Lee Sin used to serve in the army, then went to sleep with Goro. Jason also knows that Lee Sin used to be a hand to help Martin control the mafia. After his wife left, Jason took a picture in the alley and took a look. That's Maria. Then he went out to visit Lee Sin's wife. The next day, Jason came to see Maria and told the girl that Tony's ex-boyfriend was killed by Lee Sin. He is a sociologist and has been secretly deceiving his sister for 15 years. After his son's funeral was over, Maria asked what his real name was. Faced with the news, Lee Sin knew that he could not escape. As he said, The murder of his son was the most powerful gang in Russia. He used to live in that house. Maria was like dead. You've been deceiving me for 15 years, haven't you? Tomorrow, I'm going to file for divorce. What do you not understand? Don't divorce. Understand? Suddenly, Jason's close friend appeared and poured more oil into the fire. You deceived everyone. You don't deserve Maria's love. My family's story has nothing to do with you. Too old. Lisin decided to avenge Martin's death. However, he did not expect that the murderer Goro was in the middle of the night in front of his restaurant. He could not see Lisin's photo. He poured oil into the house to watch. Seeing that the guy was not at home, Goro immediately knocked on the door and put Maria in the middle of the face. Then he pulled out the gun and threatened to call your husband from here. If he did, he would only be on the phone. This caused Maria, the god of magic, to take the phone out and call. Then suddenly, Jason appeared. Maria, if you say a word, I will let you play a game. He recognized Jason's police officer outside. The beautiful sister immediately called for help. Immediately. Goro was angry but did not want to say sorry. The police officer called for help, but he did not want to stand up. After a long time, Jason attacked Goro through the window. Maria, who had the opportunity, went into the house to lock the door again. There was no news in his hands. Goro immediately ran away on the back door. When he was about to run away, Jason chased after the gun. He was hit by a car. Goro threw the club into the forest to attack. At this time, the hospital's medical team also came and chased after him. They saw a bag full of money in the bag. Jason was so greedy that he dropped the bag temporarily after driving Maria to the ambulance to go to the emergency hospital. He took $2 million to hide in the warehouse. Goro ran away. The money was lost, but the mission was definitely completed, so he decided to go to find Lisa. On the other side, Lisa did not know about this. He called his wife to persuade his parents not to divorce. Then he hired 3 guests and called the email address. Too late, he took the phone first and then left. As a way of saying goodbye, he decided to avenge his son. Lisa met a friend in the past who slept with him in the army. His name is Bobby. Lisa once saved this girl's life. When he met him again, he was as happy as a father to his younger brother. The 2 rooms were not empty. Later, Lisa told Bobby everything. With a sad face, Bobby said he would help him avenge in every way. Later, he led Lisa to visit his home. In addition to being an ideal place to hide, Bobby also led Lisa to the mainland so that he could exercise, improve his health. More importantly, it is the weapons that Bobby has collected over the past 15 years. From long-range guns to short-range guns. Everything is enough to paint the name of Martin. However, 1,000 is no different than 1,000 deaths. After observing the strongest enemy of the mafia gang. In addition, in the past, Lisa used to go to the market, like going to the market. So the 2 wives had a plan. Right after that, Lisa and her friend Bobby had hired a drug dealer to infiltrate the house. The security guard saw that the suspect had trained as a bait for the 2 of them to work. Down the stairs, when his friend Bobby was shooting in the direction of the guard, Lisa quickly went to the warehouse. Seeing the big chest, Lisa knew it could explode in this house. So she put 2 packs of explosive drugs here. Fortunately, he quickly went out, but the ghost did not know that the ghost was also not good. When the 2 of them left, Sophia's ex-lover also just got home. To make it easier to get out of the house, Lisa went to the opposite side of the street for easy observation. Leonhard and his wife, Martin, were on their way home, knowing that the suspect had arrived. So before pressing the alarm button, Lisa turned on the alarm for her ex-lover, and the ghost was about to leave. So, Sophia quickly pulled the old man out as quickly as possible. Instead, the young man grumbled and asked to come back to get the toys. This made Lisa unable to get out of the house but had to wait for the other suspect. Suddenly, Goro screamed and lied to Feng. It's a pity for his friend, but it's a pity for his colleague. Wanting to transfer Lisa's passport to Haba's house, Goro took a car wheel and put Lisa's leg on it to get his friend down. After a while, Lisa could not get out, so he left. In the end, Goro saw that there was no motivation, so he just left. Then sent a video of Lisa acting as a ghost to Martin. The Korean mission was over, but no one expected that Lisa was so happy. That Bobby used the rescue ropes. I don't know if his friend is still alive or not. Bobby took him to the shelter to sleep well. At the hospital, Lisa's wife Maria is going through a surgery for Goro's ex-lover. The wound was not too serious, so she took the doctor to the hospital after waking up. Back to the mother's house, Maria was extremely miserable because she had just fled, but she didn't see her father-in-law anywhere. But anyone who knew that Lisa was being protected by her child was also worried. Too worried for her friend, Bobby invited a doctor to treat Lisa. With the experience of 20 years of teaching, this doctor trained the heart of Lisa in a very strong way. This made his brother's heart come back and escape from the hand of the dead in a ghostly way. On the other side, Maria was given a lesson by her mother because she opposed her divorce with her husband. The beautiful girl didn't listen to him, so she packed her things and went back to her old house. When she was seducing her friend with the ghost, the police officers knocked on the door to get used to it. This little boy didn't let Lisa's face say that. There are many ghosts in the world, but only his wife made him like her. Many younger brothers can't give up. Their love is 1 meter long. After hearing these rumors, Maria will give Han a slap. The old man smiled and went inside. After putting a glass of wine on the table, she started to do the hard work. And then what did they do? Only the director knew. Wake up after a hard night, having a love that makes the soul happy. Han immediately beat her up and went home. He told his wife that they didn't get along. They were too much for each other. Han immediately took off his shirt and didn't forget to tell his wife to divorce because he didn't want to see her again. This made the woman cry like a rain. With $2 million, Jason was eager to get a new life with Maria. Lisa recovered her health. Seeing the fact that she was facing the old man Martin is too dangerous. So he immediately talked to his friend about the plan to carry out the second case in another way. Right after that, Lisa met a friend of hers named Florentino. He used to be the boss of a mafia gang, but he has gone back secretly. Knowing Lisa's situation, he said that Martin's gang was actually behind the terrorist attack in UK Reina. How do you get Uka to turn his back on Han? Then in the middle, he took advantage of it. Understanding the problem, Lisa didn't forget to say thank you, and immediately came back to carry out the plan. He found a hacker named Reynard. His brother-in-law tried to help him in his hometown. After telling about his difficult situation, Reynard immediately agreed to help Lisa. The target that the whole group was aiming for at the time was the son of Leonhard. Han was responsible for selling drugs to the terrorists. After a while of typing, Reynard found out that the person who often went to Han's hometown was Diana. In fact, Leonhard did not like the daughter of Mr. Trung, so Han often had a strange relationship with Diana. Knowing that Diana liked strange boys, Reynard is an old man who is handsome. After a while, Diana got infected with the virus, so Reynard was able to infiltrate her iPhone. Knowing that day, Leonhard wanted to find a beautiful woman on the river, so Lisa's group immediately followed. When the two of them were breathing, and the two phones were placed next to each other, Reynard began to act. Through Diana's phone, the hacker had infiltrated Leonhard's iPhone 15 Pro Max. After the whole group left, on the way home, the system found out that Leonhard had a phone call. It turned out to be the name of the terrorist bandit of Ukraine, with an increase of $50 million. Knowing this news, the whole group began to talk about it. The next day, while Leonhard's brother-in-law came to receive a huge amount of money from the terrorist, Lisa's group picked up a chip to infiltrate the street traffic light system. Knowing that the two of them were moving in two cars, the cat in front was waiting for money, and the cat in the back was the killer. When they arrived at the intersection, the car in front went to the green light as soon as they left. However, Reynard's brother-in-law called Reynard again to turn into a red light to stop the second car. Immediately, the car in front of the car stopped to wait for the car in the back, but they did not expect that Lisa and Bobby had pretended to be workers to fix the road. Then they were attacked, took the water from the well to the bag, then stole the money and ran away. Two people quickly took off their clothes, then went through the park to another section of the road, then got on the car home. In the morning, it was too painful, but Lisa said this was just the first step to kill them. Received the news. Martin's uncle immediately appeared and was extremely angry. Reynard ordered to immediately investigate to see who had done this. Immediately after that, the terrorists came to inform that if his gang did not pay that much money, there could be a fierce battle. This made Martin's brother-in-law extremely worried. At that time, Lisa's group was using the light cam to monitor the most active laughter in Martin's brother-in-law's business. They found out that the car of the terrorist was going out, so the whole group hurried to follow. When they arrived to check the distribution of the ghost production that Martin's brother-in-law was responsible for, Lisa immediately came up with a plan to get rid of the car. On the other side, the police officers of Lisa's brother-in-law, after leaving their parents at home, rented an apartment to take care of. Immediately after that, he called Maria to meet, but the woman did not pick up the phone. In fact, the beautiful sister only gave Jason a gift to have fun. In the cafe, Maria immediately went to the store to go shopping. Jason brought flowers with the gift, but it was too late. Instead, he got on the car and waited. He thought that the flower would turn into a tree and sit on the edge of the tree, and the brothers sitting in front of the house would make a lot of noise. However, when the beautiful sister went back to the bar, she followed a young man. I don't know if Jason was waiting in the car, or the two people in the bar together in the room, to talk about death. Jason didn't believe his eyes, so he went up to the house to look for something, and saw something on his head. It turned out to be two big white and brown trees. Too ugly. Jason just left the flowers and left. The young brother-in-law immediately took them up and gave them to Maria. The next few days, Jason continued to give flowers, and the woman continued to contact strange men. The cameraman knew who gave the gift, but the beautiful sister still didn't care. Even when Bobby went to the store to take a look, Maria saw that he had a cool matte oil, so she screamed and talked about it. Bobby didn't know that this girl was Lisa's boyfriend's wife, so he confidently admitted it. Maria didn't know who this girl was, so she had to take her home, and so they talked to each other all night. Jason couldn't forget Maria's sweetness, and soon after, he got into trouble. However, he didn't know that the murderer, Koro, was running around in Korea. The next day, Jason went to take a look. To get Maria's heart, he went to the house and wrote that there were people following him. He will check this place. Then he looked in front of the camera in a hurry. Then the old woman had a pair of scissors here for the beautiful sister to follow him. It was definitely the mafia who killed him. The old woman thought it was real, so she hurried to Jason's house. However, Koro suddenly rushed in to control the couple. Then he said, "If you want to take the money, you have to go to the murder house." There was no other way. Because of love, Jason immediately followed him. After he got out of the car, he brought back his money. However, he woke up and went to the opposite side. Then Koro gave him 2 sweets. Before leaving, the murderer left 2 pairs of money for Maria, as if it were a treasure. On the other side, after going to the case, Lisa's group began to act, and prepared to produce magic. Lisa and Bobby wore the camera with the conversation. According to Reynard's instructions, 2 people in a hurry rushed into the yard. Just a few basic ways. Lisa blocked the way for the guys outside. After that, the 2 continued to go inside the house. Bobby tied a rope to Reynard to enter the surveillance camera system here. Knowing the position of the security guard standing, he didn't stop to point out Lisa's attack to open the way. He didn't use a gun because he didn't want to kill innocent people. He used to be a leader in the military, so these guys are just a bunch of thieves. The guy who killed Lisa for no reason. The guy who gave the owner a hot drink. Then he went straight to the warehouse of the factory. He kicked everyone out, knowing that this is the fortune of the owner, Martin. Lisa decided to knock out all these thieves to ease anger. After the fire, and leaving the warehouse, the 2 immediately fought the battle. After this, the 4-eyed man, Ivan, said, "I doubt that the guy Lisa is not dead," and all of them are the owners of the mill, because no one dares to do that outside Korea. Too old-fashioned. The owner, Martin, gave the person who went to find the murderer Kuru to ask for forgiveness. On the other side, Kuru had money in his hand, was going to take his lover to the airport. Then the military said that Hanoi couldn't rush. We have to be happy with a magnificent flower bouquet. It is true that after the failure of the man, he was always a lazy man. When both of them were fighting for the money, the owner appeared. Not only did he lose all the money, but he was also taken back to the country. Hanoi let Lisa die in the river, but couldn't find any body. So the owner put his head in a plastic bag and went to the west of the capital. Fortunately, the police appeared, so he was locked in the prison to deal with it later. Knowing that Lisa was still alive, the owner gave the guy JD to investigate and discovered his grave. Knowing that there was no one to invite, Bobby opened the door to the road for Lisa and Rena to go down the road to pick up the gun. However, they quickly chased them away. Bobby was hit by 2 bullets into the person. Knowing that he would not get out, the owner said that both of them would follow the road to the island to get out of here. I will hold this guy. Let's go. On the outside, Leonhardt and his brother couldn't break the door, but he was suddenly hit by a machine gun, so he immediately locked the door. In a state of thousands of pounds, there was no other way. Lisa and Rena quickly ran away. Bobby tried his best to get up and take a bottle of bullets. To die, he had to go down. When he opened the door, the owner also threw a bunch of bullet holes into the sky. Fortunately, he survived. Lisa immediately fired a gun to find Ivan's brother to avenge him. After they found 2 security guards, in a gentle way, like taking the man to sleep, Lisa rushed inside to meet her ex-boyfriend, Sophia. The woman said that her brother was not the one who ordered him to kill his son. It was all Leonhardt's idea. I know that in the past, he didn't kill my brother. Let's meet my brother, so that we can talk. According to the ex-boyfriend's words, Lisa came to see the owner. He said everything, but the owner of the suspect's team said that, give me some time to investigate, and you should stay here for the time being. After that, he let Lisa go down the road, where Goro was being held. At the same time, they were attacked by Martin's gang, who had sacrificed too much for them and hadn't paid a penny. Lisa's plan to kill Lisa was a success. A gunfight took place, and the old man died. The man and the survivors went to the car and ran away. Immediately, the terrorists chased after him. The situation was urgent. Sophia went down the pit, threw Lisa out, and begged his brother to help her father. Goro also helped him, so he was released. Right after that, the 2 of them didn't say a word to each other, but immediately went on the road. In front, Leonhardt and Ivan took Ivan to a shelter, but the terrorists were too many, so it was difficult to hold them. Instead, Lisa and Goro came to help. They were in a fight, and the 2 of them shot them in the head, but they didn't die. They just appeared and went on the road. Just a moment later, the 2 of them solved the problem. However, Goro suddenly ate an hour-long rocket from the back. Inside, Ivan was dazed, so he said to his uncle that Leonhardt was the one who killed him. Sorry, I didn't tell you. To be honest, I asked the old man if he had killed his brother. He said that if he had killed his brother, he would have lost his life. He said that he would have lost his life. So, Leonhardt was the one who killed his brother. Lisa came to help him. In the end, everything was over, and all the criminals had to be punished. Through the film, we can see that there is no one left. All the criminals have a guarantee, so please be a good worker and stay away from the dark society. If you plant bananas, the bananas will bloom. That's all for today's film. The name of the film is in the description, so that you can search on Google and watch the full film. If you find this video interesting, please subscribe to my channel to support me. If you like me to review another film, please leave your comments below. Thank you all. I love you so much. Bye bye.